Welcome back to Sideline Sundays. My name is Kayla, and if you are new here, hello. If you couldn't tell by my background, I typically talk about books, but it is Sunday season, baby, and we gotta talk the Vikings. It's a necessity in my life personally. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you are a returning subscriber, hello. I hope you are enjoying this new series. If not, don't forget, every week I also upload at least one book-related video. With all of that noted, let's just hop in to this amazing game of the Vikings against the San Francisco 49ers. It was the Vikings home opener at US Bank Stadium, and y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I was very cautious about my feelings, about my emotions going in to this game. As we all know, San Francisco 49ers was one of the teams that went to the Super Bowl. Did they lose to the Kansas City Chiefs in overtime? Yes. Yes, they did. Can we just talk about the fact that this is our first year in quite some time where we had a 3-0 preseason? Can we just talk about that? Can we just talk about that? Can we also talk about the fact that we're currently 2-0 in the regular season? Can we talk about that? Let's talk about that. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna break down the game a little bit. These videos are all vibes, all chat, all gossip. No stats. If you are the type of viewer who loves an analytical breakdown of the game, great, I love that for you. This might not be the video for you, but if you just want some good vibes, some giggles, some laughs, some outrage, then I'm your gal. I'm your gal. So let's break down the victorious victory of the Vikings against the San Francisco 49ers. Let's just talk about the general vibes, the general feel of the first half of the game. I'm not gonna lie, the first half, kind of a snooze fest. Kind of a snooze fest. Did some things happen? Obviously, yes, things happened in the first half. But I got to halftime feeling a little, So let's talk about it. First quarter, around the 6:50 mark, special teams blocked San Francisco's kick. Oh my God. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm not gonna lie though, the sound that block made, I totally thought the 49ers kicker just like I don't know which Vikings player it was, but he's on screen here currently. I thought the kicker literally just smacked him right in the dome face. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. When it first happened, I was like, oh my God, oh my God. I literally was like, and then all of a sudden that went to, because I realized what had actually happened on the play. Next big play was Reichard with the field goal. That was the first score of the game. And I was kind of like, wow, I'm kind of surprised that the first points on the board are a field goal. Because again, I went into this game very cautious, very hesitant, thinking the 49ers were going to blow us out of the water. I was like, okay, 3 points on the board, go us. Okay, then we get into the second quarter, and about just after the 11th-minute marker, we have Van Gilken. Y'all, can we first off rewind freeze? Can we just talk about the fact that Kayla kept calling Sam Darnell? I feel like I should just keep going with it. It should be my shtick that I call the Vikings quarterback Darnell just for the rest of the season. So I apologize for that. Anyways, the 49ers, they were going for it. They had a 9-minute possession. It was wild, especially to consider that their first possession of the game, I think, lasted all of 2 seconds. It was they had the ball. It was kickoff, they had the ball for 2 seconds, and then all of a sudden we had the ball. I was like, what just happened? And they're going for the touchdown. They're like, finally, we got near the end zone. We're going for the touchdown. But Van Gilken comes up out of nowhere and gently just the ball. And the ball goes off its course. And Harrison Smith is there to make sure that the guy in the end zone does not get the ball. So it was a beautiful block with the assist from Van Gilken and Smith to make sure that the 49ers did not get a touchdown in the second quarter. We love to see it. Vikings defense were on that field for almost 10 minutes. After they were on the field for forever, offense hops online. And within not even a minute, of actual clock play, they get a touchdown. Jets gets in the end zone, a 97-yard receiving touchdown. Y'all, what? What? And he was like slicing one way, like left of the field, and then all of a sudden he saw he was about to get funneled in by two of the 49ers defense, so he cuts right, and I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. He cut right so close to them that I was like, they're going to take him out. They're going to take him out. And somehow he's just like, into the end zone. He brought back the gritty, and it was beautiful. However, this is where things started to get a little boring, because keep in mind, the defense was just on the field for roughly 10 minutes of playtime. And now, not even a minute's worth of a break. They're back on the field. So, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, towards the end of the third, you could tell the defense was gassed. They were tired. They're like, we are on the field all the time. But they were doing their best. By golly, they were doing their best. So San Francisco gets the interception. Number 54 on the 49ers gets the interception against Darnold at the 4:30 mark for the second quarter. And then around the 1:50 mark of the second quarter, Kittle gets a touchdown, the first touchdown for the San Francisco 49ers. Now keep in mind though, just because they got the touchdown plus the extra point, the Vikings had the touchdown with the extra point with Jefferson, but also started the game off with a field goal. So we're currently 3 points ahead of the 49ers. Now, San Francisco gets the first sack of the game around the just over 1 minute mark. There's also like a term called blitzing. What's the difference? If you guys are smart football-wise, let me know. So there's a blitz and there's a sack. I just assume if the QB's going down, it's a sack, but maybe it's not. Let me know. We end the second half, or the first half, the second quarter, with Riker getting another field goal. So now we are up 6 points to the 49ers. We go into halftime 13-7. Okay, cool. Capiche. And I made notes. I was like, y'all, we have to have a good motivational chat in the locker room, because at this point, you can tell both teams are playing hard, right? Like, it's not points on points on points, but the defense was starting to gas out a little bit towards the end. Things were getting a little sloppy on their end, and not to foreshadow into the second half of the game, but the offense also started to get a little sloppy in the second half. So let's go into the third. We finally, oh my God, it's like the 49ers got a sack, and so now finally the Vikings are like, oh, you want to play that game? 91 comes in and just takes down Purdy. Purdy goes hitting to the turf, and let me just tell you, this is not the last time Purdy will be making friends with the turf. Around the 7:40 mark, we have Darnold runs backwards. He ran. I need to find a clip of this for you so I can have it on the screen, but he realizes that he can't really throw the ball. I think he does end up throwing the ball during this, whatever this was, but he starts to run backwards. Then he starts to run forwards. Then he like runs backwards straight into a forward. I was just like, it was so frustrating though, because he clearly had an open path where he could have just at least ran to the starting point of the play. At minimum, he could have gotten to where we started the play. Instead, he ran about like 10 yards backwards. And I'm like, what? I think this is the first play that Darnold's had where I was questioning him. I'm like, what is going on in that little noggin of yours? What's going on up there? Because I was just like, why? We all know, like, forward motion. There is no really justifiable reason to be trotting backwards. Okay, let's just not do that, shall we? Ooh, 6 minute and 50-minute mark. Okay. The defense is starting to come to play. You know, they had a tough time in the second quarter. But the third quarter, they must have had a great chat in the locker room because they came back and 44 came in with an interception. And y'all, we all know I love when defense comes in with an interception. I love even more when they get touchdowns because game one, we got a bunch of touchdowns through our defense. But interceptions are also just fantastic. We love to see it. And then shortly after that interception, we get a touchdown. I wrote 83 with the touchdown. I don't know who 83 is, but they're phenomenal and we love them because, man, oh man, did we need that touchdown. A lot of stuff happened in the third quarter, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, I loved it. I loved it so much. So at the 6:05 mark, remember, 6:50-ish is when we got the interception / touchdown. 6:05, not even a minute later, 91 with a sack on Purdy. Remember, I told y'all Purdy, he's gonna be hanging out with the turf. Well, he's not done hanging out with the turf quite yet. Second sack of the day, or blitz, whatever we're calling it. So remember how I was just talking about how 91 got a little sack with Purdy and Purdy was hanging out in the turf? Well, we have a quick follow-up around the 2:30 mark where 51 also gets a sack on Purdy. I'm telling y'all. 49ers got that sack in the end of the second, and now our defense is like, oh, okay, let's play. And then shortly after that sack on Purdy, around the 2:30 mark, we have 52 with an interception. However, so we get this phenomenal interception, which means the Vikings now have possession of the ball. And what happens with that possession of the ball? We were like millimeters away from a touchdown, and Jones is running. He's running. Honestly, I didn't even think he was going to get the ball because number 2 was getting real close to Darnold, but Darnold was able to like chuck the ball. Jones catches the ball, runs, and then I'm like, he should have just slided right before the end zone. And I know, of course, you want to get the touchdown, like that is the end goal. But as he was running, a defense, first off, he had like 3 guys on him, and one of them like cut their arm in between his arms through a tackle. So like we'll say this is Jones, right? The other guy, like, let's say this is one arm, this is another arm, obviously not proportion, but he is like this, and one arm goes into here, and the other arm goes into here, ripping this arm out, and Jones lets go of the ball. Not only does he let go of the ball, San Francisco recovers the ball. We were seconds away from a touchdown, but we don't. It's a turnover. And that leads to, at the beginning of the fourth quarter, San Francisco gets another touchdown. And y'all, I'm not gonna lie, the fourth quarter, kind of boring, but also nail-biting because it's like a matter of, like, I think it's just another touchdown away from them winning, or at least tying the game. I can't quite remember at that part, but it gets really boring. Kind of boring in the sense that, like, I felt like nothing was really happening. Nothing was really going on. There were obviously good plays, but also sloppy plays. Again, Vikings offense kind of just got a little... It's like how the defense in the third was a little questionable. The offense in the fourth was a little questionable from my personal opinion and perspective. However, at the 3:30, Reichard gets a field goal. Beautiful. We love to see it. And we take a knee at like I think just under 1 minute, just under over the 1 minute mark, and the game is over and we win. That was the Vikings game. It was great that we won, but also, I don't know, just something about it felt sloppy, a little messy. I don't know. There's something about it where I was like, I don't know what could be fixed, but there's things that could be fixed. Also, Jefferson went out like towards the end of the third and pulled something in his hamstring. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Hopefully it's just like, hey, stretch, ice, heat, electrolytes, and you'll be good. But we'll see. Please. We cannot have another season without Jefferson. Oh, one thing I did want to note, I was sitting here stressing and sweating all week about the fact that we were playing the 49ers, but apparently the 49ers have never beat the Vikings on Vikings home turf in like 20 years. I feel like if I had known that factoid, I wouldn't have been like worried as much, but maybe sometimes it's good not to know those fun little factors until like obviously after the fact and you're like, oh, love that. Okay, anyways, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I have to edit this video. I'll see y'all next week when we play the Texans. Houston Texans, my bad. I think this is the first year in a very long time that we've played the Houston Texans. Actually, let me know in the comments down below. Do you guys like this new season lineup? I know that was like one of the big announcements at the end of last season leading into this season was the new schedule. Like everyone's going to be playing different teams. So I'm not sure I feel about it. It's interesting because I'm seeing obviously different teams than I've seen us play in the past. And again, I don't know the last time we've played the Texans. I feel like I never really see the Texans play. So we'll see. I feel like in the past, I've always had a general understanding of like the different teams we play and like how they fare and how their team's doing overall. But yeah, the Texans are kind of an anomaly in my books. So I am very interested to see how next Sunday's game goes. We are playing in Houston. So, you know, hopefully we can keep up the momentum. But again, I feel like our offense needs to tighten things up just a little bit. We're doing well. It's not like we're playing bad, but I feel like if we just like tighten things up, oil the machine a little more, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I'll see y'all next week.